Hey guys, I'm with Detra Carter. Hey Detra, how you doing?
Hey,
Uh,
good. How are you?
Pretty good. So Detra, tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're currently working on.
Okay. So, what I do is I help people find a purpose driven career. And what I'm working on right now is I'm just really working on getting more information about what some of my clients need the most. So, I have a program that's based on a book that I've written. The book is entitled There's More in You, how to sustain your faith in the midst of obstacles. However, what I really love helping people do is to break through to really to find the better the I guess what I'm looking for is the whole premise of there's more in you is that there's always something deeper within us that we want to tap into, and there's always something greater, and there's always something more. So what I want to really help people do is to help people break through to that, but I'd love to get more specific as to certain areas that they may need to work on.
Right.
So that's what
Um,
I'm working on.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I like the problem that you help solve because that's really so many people have that problem. They want to get more like purpose and they want to they just want more meaning in what they do, and you're helping address that problem. So that's really good. And the last time we talked, um, you were saying that you're working on niching down. You're helping people in the workplace who feel unfulfilled, maybe between 30 and 45. But you want to get even more specific. And last time we talked, I recommended that perhaps you segment one further like step in the workplace and segment
Hmm.
by the industry that they're in. And your background is in like the social services industry. So I thought it'd be a good idea if you segmented by you know not just people in the workplace who feel unfulfilled, but people in the social services industry who feel unfulfilled. Talk a little bit about that kind of refinement and kind of your either hesitations about that, or maybe like how we can even go deeper into that.
Well, the refinement is really based around value. Is really finding what do the clients that I am called to serve, what is it that they value more than anything that I know how to do. So, what I'm finding honestly is that they value, including myself, learning about how to run a business because they already know how to help people. They already know that that is connected to their purpose somehow, but they really don't know how to like put it together in a way that can sell to where it can be profitable for them. So there's like some specific things that they are wanting to learn, and that those specific things, that's what I need to find out at
Uh,
this point.
okay, cool. So what I hear is that you have like an intuition about what these people who are in the social services industry, what they need. But at the same time, you said it yourself, like you don't have you don't have the customer research in place to know exactly what they need in extreme detail. So
Yeah.
really, the number one problem right now is a customer research problem, and what that means is like you need to know like with extreme certainty. Who the customers are, and then and then what exactly they're saying. What are their pain points that they're saying? Not just assuming what their pain points are, but actually like having them say it and saying, yes, I am actively trying to solve this problem and I need help with it. So the best thing that I think you could do right now is pick five people to interview in the social services industry, and and just interview them, get to know them. Not, I mean, not like a recorded interview, but an interview in a sense of like you sit down on the phone with them, you ask them questions about their situation and where they're going and where they want to go. And instead of kind of assuming what their needs are, let them talk about it and write it down, and then you have your market research there, like very clearly. You know exactly what they want and what they're looking for, and then you can frame your messaging around that.
Yeah, I think that that's really great. I did some. Strategic plans, free coaching sessions, that kind of thing. And that's how I found out people were really wanting, their pain was the money. So
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, that's the problem that I need to solve is how do I help them to learn, to create a plan, I guess, to get more money, but then also by doing something that you absolutely love, because you're going to have some highs and lows with whatever you do.
Sure.
But I think to know that you have the potential to make a certain amount of money versus in social services, there's like this cap, you know,
Yeah.
um,
Totally.
that would help a lot to if I could put some dollars signs to it, like, okay, you can go from like maybe the average social worker or the average social worker assistant or something like that, they make between 25 and 35,000. I'm just throwing things out there, and then if you go into this business that is created based upon your purpose, then you have the potential to make up to six figures. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think they would
Oh yeah.
be like, oh, okay, I see the value in doing this now.
Right. Then there's another thing you're working on, kind of product development. So on your, when you're interviewing potential clients, and free coaching sessions is one thing, but even before that, I think people jump to a free coaching session a little too soon, actually, because a lot of people aren't ready for a free coaching session. They just need to get to know you. So if you can just ask people, hey, just to simply meet you for a cup of coffee or for like a virtual coffee online, I think that would be the easiest way to start talking to people who will potentially buy this thing and to get to know. It sounds like, yeah, they want to make more money. They're in the social services industry and that's their pain point. But what we also want to know is what they've tried,
Mm-hmm.
and what hasn't worked. And then if you can have a list of like, they've already tried a side hustle and guess what, like that it didn't work for whatever reason. And if we have a clear list of like what's everything they've tried, and then creating a solution that's different than everything they've tried, but also addresses all the problems from everything they've tried, then that could be a way for you to structure your services and your product so that you can help them get the results that you want to help them, that you want to promise for them. I do have a recommendation is it'll be kind of hard to be credible, to say like, hey, I'm going to help you get to six figures by like creating your own purpose-driven business. Later on, I think you'll be able to do that once you're at that point. But in the beginning, it might be actually easier to sell if you start a little lower with just, hey, I'll help you set up the basics and get you your first 3 clients or something like that. Something that's realistic and doable. Like I can help, or even just I can help you get your first customer. Just to get them, and that's easier to sell than I'm gonna help you get to 6 figures, because people are like, nah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, right. The last person told me that. But yeah. Okay.
So I mean, if you can say like, hey, I'll help you get your first customer, your first paying customer, and here's how I did it. Here's how you can do it. I know, and you can teach them how to do it. That's a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier on you because you already know how to do it. And they haven't done that yet. So it's a challenge that you have the ability to solve right now. And then once you're bigger, then you can be like, all right, now I can help you get to 6 figures and 7 figures and blah, blah, blah. But right now it might be easier to sell something that you've already done, like just help you get your first paying customer.
Yeah. Yeah, that does make sense.
And that's really
and
valuable.
They would understand that.
And it's really valuable too. Like people relate to that message more than they relate to, whatever these outlandish claims are. They don't want to think that big at first. Like they want to just take the first step towards achieving their goal of running their own successful business. And just getting that first step provides enough value just to like get your foot, just like make one step forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of moving from the purpose-driven career to the purpose-driven business because
Yeah,
people it's kind of there it's even from informal conversations I found this
yeah,
where people know that I'm a coach and they'll just ask questions, but it's always like really related to their business, like things in the nonprofit sector. And I was studying social entrepreneurship, so that's how I found out that that you can do both, and it's okay to do both.
yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. Like they think, okay, it has to be nonprofit. You know what I mean? If I want to help people, it has to be nonprofit.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that that's an interesting like segment too. Like you're talking to only social entrepreneurs or aspiring social entrepreneurs. And you yourself studied that. You're coming from a place where social services background, nonprofit background. So you know what they're going through, and it's not you're not trying to appeal to every aspiring entrepreneur, but just a certain kind of social entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep, and that is basically who it is. It's the social entrepreneurs that I'm looking for, the aspiring social entrepreneurs, and I think that I could help them to basically set up a business to that will be fulfilling for them, but that will also be create a social impact.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good. I think that I can envision the product again, like you help them go from 0 to 1, something like that.
Mhm.
And I can see that being successful just because um, it's ground. It's just as I've been saying it over and over again, but it's just a simple step forward to operating their own successful business. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think next steps though, like as you said, you want to talk to more people, more aspiring social entrepreneurs. If you can just set up a simple, not even a free coaching session, but a simple coffee meeting or a virtual coffee meeting with 5 aspiring social entrepreneurs to get to know in more detail what they want, and what they've tried already, and then what their biggest challenge is. That'll really help you structure the service that you're offering, and it'll give you a lot of ideas for how to package your service and what to say when you're marketing it and on your website and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the interesting thing for someone that wants to be a life coach or wants to get into coaching is that you really have to be open to letting things unfold, because the biggest thing that I'm learning is I could think, okay, I'm going to go in this direction and this is really going to work, this is going to be the thing, and then once I get into it, realize based on the customer needs or client needs that I need to go in a different direction. So
yeah,
that's basically what I found is that I have a program and things are based on my book as far as building up your faith and building up your confidence so that you can actually start to do something and have the courage to do something like start your own business. But what I'm finding is that there's some people that they do have the courage to do it, but they still feel kind of lost.
yeah, no,
So
exactly. Yeah, having the courage is one thing, but then actually like knowing what to do and then feeling like and then dealing with that overwhelm, that's a whole other thing. But I think
mhm,
you're right, is that the services that you do, they have to come from a place, instead of assume a place of assumption, come from a place of customer research, just so we know that the business that you're doing,
mhm.
like, this is definitely going to resonate, and this is grounded in like actual things that the customers have said that they struggle with, and it's just easier to set up a business that way that people will pay you for.
Yeah, that's the key. That people will pay you for it, and not just because it's a nice thing. Because that's what I started with, was a nice thing. And even when I wrote the book, I wrote it because I love to write. And the blog, all of those different things that they tell you to do when you're starting out to get like I guess more marketability, or just to kind of build up your platform. And what I found is that you can do all of those things and it really doesn't go anywhere
Yeah, yeah,
lucrative, you know?
yeah.
So you got all this experience in doing things, but you really are in the same place financially because you did not let the research guide you. So that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing I'm learning is research.
Yeah, totally. And I'm glad you're learning that, because and then that's something that most people like really don't learn until after they've had some trials and tested some things. So it's just good. Next time you'll know even more when you're launch your new product. You'll know from your experiences, from your failures. You'll do a better job next time. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, and then the other thing about like blogging and social media and whatnot, this is all great, but too many times we see like people saying that like, oh, you just blog and you get clients, it's easy as that. Obviously, that's not the case. Like you actually have to like talk to
Mm-hmm.
people and it's have a lot more sophisticated systems set up than just simply posting on Facebook and blogging, because it's just a lot more complicated than that.
It is way more complicated, but people make it look so fun, so sexy, so awesome, and all of
Yeah,
these things. And I feel like it's almost like, I don't want to say fraud alert, but that is really all I got for the time being because I'm like, there was so much more to it than just posting on Facebook, you
I know,
know?
I know, I know.
So
I think you're
it's
better
like,
off.
there's ads everywhere about this.
Oh,
As
I know.
far as, I'm like, that's not all there is to it. Like, you've got to build relationships with people, and then they'll think about hiring you as their coach. You know, they follow you for a while and they look at everything you do, and it's a
Exactly.
lot.
Exactly. It's long-term relationships that you have to build, and too many times we see like online, like someone offering like, "Hey, this Facebook funnel will get you 10 clients a night in your sleep," and we're like, "Yeah." And it's just like a really like kind of easy shortcut to really what you really need to do, which, as you said, is build these long-term relationships through all kinds of different tactics and all kinds of different things. I think you would be um, you seem to know, you have a good sense of like what you need to do is build the relationships, and I think that you would get more clients from simply forgetting about sales tactics and just focusing on setting up as many like virtual coffees as you can with no agenda. I think that would get you virtual coffees with social entrepreneurs and aspiring social entrepreneurs would get you more clients than having it like kind of posting on Facebook and blogging and all that. You just talk to people with no agenda. That'll lead to opportunities. So virtual coffees.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm definitely, when people feel that connection with me, like I'm just like, I'm a genuine person, and they find out what I do and what I can help them do. Then that's how you get the clients coming to you,
yeah,
instead of it being like you're chasing people and being like, will you please be my client? And I'm like, okay, that does not work. That's not fulfilling for me at all. So
right. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be chasing people, but if you just simply set up like, if I were to do it, I would be like, all right, I'm gonna go for 3 virtual coffees a day and have that be like what you focus on, then the clients will come.
mhm. I've never heard the term virtual coffee. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna have to use that. Yeah, that's really cool. I learned so much from just having a conversation with you. So
yeah,
I know that other people will learn even so much more, because when I was really starting, I didn't have any idea, and I just wanted somebody to tell me the truth, like what this would entail. And the biggest thing that I've learned out of everything is that there's no cookie cutter approach. So just because this person did a blog and that took off for them,
yeah. It
that
doesn't.
doesn't mean that's going to be your thing. Or just because this person does Facebook Live and that works for them, that does not mean that's going to work for you.
Yeah,
Like, so you really got to really tap into, I guess I would say, using the verbiage I use all the time, the power within you that is unique to you, and you need to go for that. that thing. And that's been the hardest thing. My mentor has been like really pushing me. She said, you keep looking at other people. You keep looking. Like he said, well, this person did this. And it seemed like it was really working well. And I think I could do something like that. She's like, no, you need to find out what you can do. So that's like, this is actually different than anything. This is more like me because I just talk to people. Like I do, this is what I do naturally. And that's what your business, it has to be with coaching. It has to be whatever it is that you just naturally do really well. I was even thinking about doing a podcasting and things like that because this is just what I can just talk for days.
Yeah, and I think something like that. Yeah, exactly. Just focusing on talking to people is the best thing that you do. And thank you. Thanks for the compliments as well. I'm glad that you're getting out of this, and I hope that other people do as well. But I really appreciate you taking the time to jump on this interview with me today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about it and sharing whatever the interviews and things that you post because I run into a lot of people that want to be coaches too.
Awesome. Yeah, share it with them.
I will. Looking forward to it, and thanks again.
No problem.